What is the first thing that you thought when you hear the word max? I myself actually, when I hear max, especially in some products, I expect a lot from them. I expect that is the best that they can do, because yeah, you know, max from maximum is the opposite of minimum, so I do expect a lot from that max word itself. So hello and welcome to AfterSound Review, and this is my review for the Blon BL Max. Maybe some of you have known the Blon from its legendary product, the BL03, and for me sometimes this Blon brand is kinda strange because the Blon BL03, it seems like a happy coincidence, because after the success of the Blon BL03, it's going hyped anywhere, and even until today, it's still one of the most recommended IM if you want a natural sounding IM at around $20. But after that Blon BL03, the Blon BL05, the Blon BL Mini, or the Blon Prometheus, I think and I believe none of those products could follow the success of the Blon BL03. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have put a little bit of my hope in this IM, but let's see what can they do. Just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency, response, sound, and comparison. Well, take a look at this. I mean, what is this? Who on earth could think, let's make this kind of IM? It looks really strange, it looks really different from anything that I've tried, and even the backside is unique. This is the first time seeing IM like this, and I don't know, maybe it's innovative, maybe it's brave, I don't know. But the unique thing is definitely about the shape of this IM, and they are actually quite heavy. You can feel at the moment you touch and weight them, they weight quite heavy. So yeah, it's more heavy than your usual plastic IM around this price point, and they're using normal dual pin connectors, and the cable is just like the usual Chi-Fi IMs around its price point. And unfortunately, it's right from the box. You see my jack is kinda tilted somehow, so I'm a bit disappointed with that. The Blon BL03 isn't particularly known for its best fitting, and it happens too with this Blon BL Max. If you are those people that don't really like the Blon BL03 fitting, I would say that maybe you will not like this too, because I actually have no problem with the BL03, but with this Blon Max, oh man, I know this is subjective, it depends on your ear shape, it depends on your ear width and also height, but it just feels weird in my ears, and the inner side that is touching my ear, it feels quite big, so I don't feel that, and the nozzle is actually a little bit small, so I don't feel that any type of ear tips and any types of fitting I could get a really proper fit, I could get a really comfortable fit. And I'm saying this because I have bring this into some audio meetings, and a lot of people are saying the same. Am I using this right? Is this real? So it just feels really strange. You can see with ear tips it's like this, but I don't know why, and it's heavy. So if you're asking me as a consumer, I would say that the fit is just straight up bad. Frequency response wise, I could say they are definitely somehow V-shaped, with this emphasis mainly on the bass area and also upper mid and treble area. But if you compare them with its predecessors, the Blon BL03, you could see that it's actually quite similar, except the treble area is more emphasized in the Blon BL Max. Okay, I've tested this Blon BL Max using my iBasso DX160 and also my phone, the Samsung Galaxy S7 Plus, and I should say that you could drive them easily via your phone. But here's the thing, for me, this Blon BL Max, I guess I need to give a little bit of warning for you maybe. If you see my impression in the fitting session, for me this definitely one of the IM that I struggle to get a proper fit. So I've tried a lot of my ear tips, more than this collection. Of course, I've tried the Sony Hybrid, the Final Audio Type E, Acoustune, I've tried the Orthophone, I've tried a lot of ear tips, but none of them could give the sub-bass extension as the measurement give. If you see the measurement, it has quite a decent sub-bass extension, but because of the fitting for me, I never really get that sub-bass extension except when I'm using this SPINFIT CP100. So if you're like me, if you have a similar problem with this fitting problem with this Blon BL Max, I suggest you to try the SPINFIT because it helps a little bit by lengthening the nozzle a little, and for me it helps a lot. Now I can feel the sub bass, but here's the thing, the sub bass isn't really good either. I know it's punchy, you can feel it's quite deep, but the texture, the speed, the quality, the focus of the sub bass isn't really good. So when I hear EDMs, I feel like the bass control is not really like it's more like it's not really punchy, like deep and focused. It feels like it feels kind of loose and not really detailed. So I don't really like this kind of bass. Actually, it's just there. Yes, it's a little bit punchy, but the texture, the focus is not there. And the vocal is another thing that I found to be a little bit in an awkward position, because for me the vocal of this Blon BL Max is almost really balanced. When you hear vocal from Ed Sheeran, when you hear vocal from Lady Gaga or any kind of pop vocalist, for me the sound of the singer itself never goes too harsh, never goes too peaky, never goes too thick or something like that. It's just a quiet balance. But the thing is, we got the Blon BL03, and for me BL03 has more textured vocal. It's more soothing, it's more somehow more addicting for me. It's more smooth, it's more soothing, and it's more textured. While this Blon BL Max is a little bit more clear, but I'm missing something from what I hear in a Blon BL 03. So again, it's not really an upgrade from the Blon BL 03. And the treble, for me, this is one of the most awkward position, because sometimes in some songs I feel that I could really hear that it's using a double dynamic driver, and the other dynamic driver, it's definitely for that part, it's for the treble. Sometimes I feel that the cymbals is being a little bit pushed and a little bit out of the coherency of the bass and mid-range. It's like almost feels like I'm hearing a warm IM but with added treble. That's what I'm hearing. Sometimes the treble is like a little bit pushed but not in a really natural way, and it feels like it has its own Twitter sounding dynamic driver right there. And the treble itself, it's not really extended either. So in some songs I always hear that there's a push in the treble area, but it's not a really good treble either. The texture of the treble, the extension, the vocals of the treble, if you want to try a really good treble extension, please try the La Campanella or La Primavera. For me, the speed of the violin that's being played, and also the treble extension, the airiness of the violin, the bite of the violin screeching, it's not there. It's not a really good quality treble, but sometimes it feels a little bit pushed for some cymbal songs. So for me, again, it's a really strange tuning. And if we are talking about the technicality, for me it also sits in a very awkward place, because if you are someone who likes your IM to be really detailed, really technical, for me just skip this Blon BL Max and then buy maybe some IMs like the HZSOUND Hard Mirror or the TKZK Wave that could give a much better detail, much better separation, and also resolution at a little bit more expensive than this Blon BL Max. So its only strong point in technical for me, it's only the soundstage. The soundstage feels three-dimensional, but it's not really good with the imaging, so you really cannot really pinpoint where the instruments are. So yeah, the detail is just so-so. It's mediocre. It won't reach the same level as the TKZK wave or the HZSOUND hot mirror. So let's talk about the comparison. For me, compared to the Blon BL03, I feel that the Blon BL03 is more spatial, especially because of that more soothing, more textured, addicting vocal. For me, the Blon BL03 weakness is maybe about its build quality. I have bought two of the Blon BL03 and the cable breaks twice. So yeah, I'm using another cable right now. So the build quality isn't really good, but the fit is actually for me a little bit better than the Blon BL Max. Even though the bass is more boomy and it's bleeding to its mid-range, but for me it's a little bit more textured. But yeah, it's not really well controlled, but the vocal is the main star, when I feel that the Blon BL03 still remains in a spatial category, while this Blon BL Max isn't really that spatial. And the treble, even though it's more subdued, it's more relaxed in this Blon BL03, but for me it feels more coherent with the whole frequency, with the whole presentation of the sound of this Blon BL03, while the Blon BL Max sometimes could feel a little bit pushed because of some of that sudden cymbal pushed sound. So for me, the Blon BL Max, it's really awkwardly sitting in some of great amps, in some of spatial amps. If you want technical, go buy something like the TKZK wave or the HZSOUND mirror. If you want some more vocal with a soothing, smooth vocal, go buy Tanshim Tanya or this Blon BL03. I really couldn't find any single genre that could give the Blon BL Max to be the best amongst its peers. So yeah, for me that's the conclusion. The Blon BL Max is hard to recommend because of that fit, because of that awkward kind of sound that doesn't feel really spatial amongst all of its peers. And I think that's all for me. If you have any question, please write down in the comment below, and please give a like and subscribe to support the channel. And see you next time. Bye bye.